In this video, we're going to do an example of finding all of the zeros of a polynomial. So, we're given the polynomial f of x equals 2x to the fourth minus 3x cubed minus 7x squared plus 35x minus 75. We're just asked to find all of those zeros. We know that we're looking for 4 of them, counting multiplicities, but we're looking for 4 of them. So, remember, our entire goal of doing this is to see what we can do to knock it down to a quadratic and then use factoring or quadratic formula to find the last 2. Alright, so first thing we'll do in this one, since we're not given any other information, is to look for what might be the rational roots of this particular polynomial. So we'll find the factors of 75, which are 1, 3, 5, 15, 25, and 75. And we'll find the factors of 2, which are just 1 and 2. So for our numerators, we use the factors of 75. For the denominators, we use the factors of 2. Here are all of your factors of 75 over 1. Here are all your factors of 75 over 2. Well, looking at the graph of f of x to figure out which ones we might want to use, when we graph this, we see that we only cross the x-axis a couple of times. So these better be the ones that we need to be able to knock it down to an x squared, right? We got to go from an x to the fourth down to an x squared. We need 2 of these to work. Well, the first one I see looks like -3, and -3 is in my list. The other one looks like 2.5, and 2.5 is in my list. Okay, so I'm going to try those first. We use synthetic division to check that we really do have zeros here, and to knock the degree down at the same time. Checking -3 and going through your work for the synthetic division, we get 0 at the end. So -3 really is a 0, and we've knocked down the degree from a quadratic, from a 4th degree polynomial to a cubic, a 3rd degree polynomial. Using those as our coefficient here, and then checking the 5/2 as well, going through your synthetic division, you'll get 0 at the end. This should see x is equal to a positive 5/2. That negative sign should not be there. So scratch that out if you're taking notes. It should say that just x equals 5/2 is also a 0. So after doing synthetic division twice, of course, we started with a quartic, a 4th degree polynomial, and we now are at quadratic, a 2nd degree polynomial. We can use the quadratic formula to do this. So this is your quadratic formula, opposite of b, plus or minus b squared, minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. When you simplify under the radical, you'll get a -64. So that simplifies on top to 4 plus or minus 8i. Factoring out a 4 on top cancels with the 4 in the denominator to give you 1 plus or minus 2i. So that tells us what our 4 zeros are. They are -3, positive 5/2, 1 plus 2i, and 1 minus 2i.